Are you feeling lost and confused in life? In this video, we delve into the profound teachings of Buddhism to help you navigate through life's uncertainties and find inner peace. Lesson 1. It's acceptable to feel perplexed occasionally. Recognizing that feeling confused is normal is the first step towards resolving it. Buddhism tells us that there are many unknowns in life. Unpredictability and change are all around us from the minute we are born. Even the Buddha went through perplexity and suffering before to being enlightened. It's critical to keep in mind that bewilderment is a normal aspect of the human experience, and neither a defect nor a sign of weakness. Buddhism has an idea called dukkha, which means that life is inherently satisfying. While acknowledging that life is frequently flawed and full of difficulties, this does not imply that all misery exists in the world. Along with physical suffering, dukkha also refers to emotional and mental distress like uncertainty and bewilderment. Recognizing that uncertainty is a natural aspect of life lessens the anxiety and resistance we frequently experience when we don't know everything. Regard confusion as the mind's signal to reflect more deeply on something. It invites us to take a step back and evaluate where we are and where we are heading, much like a pause button. We can use perplexity as a chance to delve further into our own self-exploration, rather than perceiving it as a bad thing. We let go of the constant urge to know everything when we acknowledge that confusion is all right. We begin to embrace life's mystery and cease criticizing ourselves for not knowing. We start to become receptive to fresh ideas and viewpoints when we embrace this. Meditating is one technique to welcome confusion. Shut your eyes, sit quietly, and concentrate on your breathing. When confused thoughts and feelings come to mind, notice them objectively. Just acknowledge them and let them be, without attempting to ignore them or solve them right away. You'll eventually discover that your perplexity becomes less intense and that you begin to feel at ease. Through this technique, we learn to accept ambiguity instead of fighting it. Lesson 2. It's okay to have reasonable desires. It's natural to desire clarification or answers right away when things are confusing. We get obsessed with figuring out how to get comfortable again. However, the idea that attachment or clinging is the source of suffering is one of Buddhism's core teachings. Tension and discontentment arise in our minds when we fervently want things to be a particular way. We suffer more the more we desire. Buddhism refers to this idea as desire. An insatiable need for things to be otherwise than they are is known as a craving. It's the need for stability when things are changing, the need for assurance when we're confused, and the need for control when things feel out of control. The Buddha taught that we fight against life's natural flow the more we adhere to these wants. We frequently seek clarification so much when we're perplexed that we lose sight of the here and now. We become engrossed in attempting to correct situations or mold them into our idealized vision of the world. Letting go of excessive desiring is akin to releasing our hold on our objectives and desires, not giving up on them. It's about striking a balance and accepting that things in life won't always go as planned. When we're perplexed, sometimes letting go of our need for control and placing our trust in the process is the best course of action. Lesson 3. It's all right for things to change. The idea of impermanence is among Buddhism's most significant teachings. In life, everything is constantly shifting. We are always changing. Our bodies, relationships, emotions, and thoughts included. Nothing remains constant over time. When we're unsure and looking for consistency, this can be both reassuring and unnerving. Often, when life leaves us feeling bewildered, it's because something unexpected has changed. Perhaps we've lost someone, our professional route has changed, or a romance has ended, and we're left wondering what lies next. It's normal to desire things to return to normal at these times. However, Buddhism tells us that fighting against change would only make things worse. We can learn to accept change as an essential aspect of life rather than resisting it. We become stronger in the face of uncertainty when we acknowledge that everything is transient. We recognize that bewilderment is fleeting and that it will pass, much like everything else. Impermanence also serves as a reminder that our misunderstanding right now does not define who we are. It is merely a transient feeling that will change as we learn new things and see things from different angles. The more we embrace life's fleeting character, the more we can flow with it rather than against it. Contemplation is one technique to develop an awareness of impermanence. Think back to a period in your life when you experienced uncertainty or confusion, and note how things eventually changed. Maybe you made sense of things, or maybe things changed in unexpected ways. Realize that life is full of change, and when you accept that, you can find serenity even in the middle of uncertainty. Lesson 4. Consider things to gain a clearer understanding. When uncertainty emerges, it can quickly immobilize one. We may choose to ignore the matter completely in the hopes that the misunderstanding would go away on its own. However, Buddhism urges us to apply wisdom and mindfulness to gain a deeper understanding of our uncertainty. We are urged to sit with uncertainty, explore it, and draw lessons from it rather than run from it. The practice of mindfulness involves focusing attention on the current moment without passing judgment. Being mindful allows us to more clearly observe our feelings and ideas. We begin to recognize the thought patterns and routines that fuel our bewilderment. For instance, we may come to the realization that we are clinging to antiquated ideas, or that our reactions are driven more by fear than by reason. Buddhism defines wisdom as the capacity to perceive reality as it is. It's the realization that our ignorance frequently results from our own constrained viewpoints. Through mindfulness practice and wisdom cultivation, we can start to break through the confusion and gain a clearer understanding of the circumstance. Lesson 5. Treat yourself with love. We are frequently the harshest judges of ourselves when we are confused. We could be angry with ourselves for not knowing the solutions or take responsibility for our current predicament. However, Buddhism emphasizes the value of compassion for both oneself and other people. A fundamental component of Buddhism is loving kindness. It entails developing compassion and love for all living things, including ourselves. We have to remember to be nice and compassionate to ourselves when life throws us for a loop, just like we would a dear friend. Recognizing that you are doing the best you can in a challenging circumstance is a necessary part of being kind to yourself. It's about realizing that uncertainty is normal for people to feel, and that it's acceptable to not know all the answers. We may foster a climate of acceptance where healing and development can take place when we address our perplexity with compassion. Letting go of the demand for perfection is another aspect of self-compassion. We frequently experience confusion as a result of striving to meet irrational expectations that we have for ourselves or other people. We can let go of the need to be flawless and give ourselves permission to make errors and grow from them by practicing self-kindness. Lesson 6. Have faith that everything will work out. Buddhism's greatest teaching is the concept of faith. Not faith in the shallow sense, but faith in the profound knowledge that everything will work out as it is supposed to. Buddhism encourages us to trust life's journey, even in the face of our incomplete understanding of it. This is when the idea of karma enters the picture. The law of cause and effect is known as karma. It teaches us that there are visible and invisible consequences to every action we perform. Even while we might not always notice benefits right away, we can have faith that the seeds we sow now will eventually bring fruit. It's crucial to keep in mind that our efforts to comprehend our circumstances and ourselves will ultimately bring clarity when we are confused. It takes more than just waiting for things to work themselves out to have trust in the bigger picture. It entails making the required moves forward and having faith that life would assist us along the way. It's about striking a balance between giving up and exerting effort. Reminding ourselves that we have successfully navigated challenging situations in the past and that we have always emerged on the other side can be useful during confusing times. Even in cases when we are blind to the road forward, life somehow manages to work itself out. We can discover calm in the present moment and let go of our craving for control when we trust this process. Use this affirmation to yourself whenever you're feeling lost or unsure. I trust in life's process. I have faith that everything will work out as it should. I give up trying to be in charge and let life lead the way. This short affirmation can help you change your perspective from one of fear to one of faith, enabling you to face uncertainty with confidence and grace. Buddhism's teachings do not advocate either fearing or avoiding confusion. It is a normal and crucial step on the path to enlightenment and self-discovery. We are being urged to delve deeper, investigate the unknown, and develop greater understanding and compassion when life leaves us perplexed. We can turn perplexity into a chance for growth by accepting it, letting go of excessive demands, realizing that life is temporary, practicing mindfulness, being nice to ourselves, and having faith in the process. We might start to view confusion as a teacher, a guide that leads us toward greater clarity and peace, instead of viewing it as a barrier. Remember that feeling perplexed occasionally is acceptable. It comes with being a human. However, if we use the knowledge of Buddhism as a guide, we may gracefully traverse these times and come out stronger, wiser, and closer to our actual selves. Let these lessons serve as a source of solace and inspiration the next time life throws you for a loop. May you always believe in the beauty of your journey and find serenity in the middle of uncertainty.